Hey guys, Scott and Vanessa Martindale here with Blended Kingdom Families. At BKF, we believe now is the time to change the modern day interpretation of the blended family.
Absolutely, you guys. As a blended family ourselves, God laid it on our hearts to build a ministry that helps support blended families by equipping your marriage, uniting the family unit, and igniting your faith. Our mission is that you would be touched by God and experience His goodness through this ministry, that your family would have practical skills, resources, and tools to help you live that abundant blended life.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Are you ready?
Still up.
Booyah. Booyah. Hey guys, welcome to Blended Kingdom Families. Vanessa and Scott Martindale here. We are so glad to have you guys here with us today.
I feel like I'm overdressed here. You're breaking the purple wind pants, you're bringing them out.
And the tie-dye Blessed Day Ever shirt by the Lap Blonde. Just giving a little shout out there to my girls. Yeah, wind pants, they're coming back. So can I do a little song for you?
Sure.
I'm bringing wind pants back. What? All the husbands don't know how to act. What? When all their wives coming in the slacks. I don't know.
We
are so different.
The donkey and the monkey.
We are so different. Yeah, in case you didn't know, guys, in a marriage relationship, there is a donkey and there is a monkey. You just kind of need to figure out which one you are. I'm the monkey.
I'm definitely the donkey.
Scott is the donkey. We will go into that topic another time. But today, we like to have fun. Today, I keep you laughing. Like, you should be so thankful that God gave you me.
Absolutely. 100%.
100%.
100%. Yin and yang.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you know, okay. Apples and oranges.
The ranch to my pizza.
The fries to your ketchup.
That's it.
Peanut to your butter.
The gravy to my chicken fry.
The chips to my salsa. Like, why do I gotta be a condiment though? Like, why can't I be like the spicy ranch to your
pizza?
I don't know. Okay.
Let's get into the topic.
All right, you guys. So today we have Mr. Martindale in the hot seat, and we are talking about being a stepdad. What I wish I knew.
Cool. So for all the dads out there, let me just point out a couple things. Number one, we've got the Cowboys helmet here, which is just cooler than a flower. And number two, I just redid my garage.
Oh yeah,
so any dads out there who really wants to be, feel good, the garage is great. So
hasn't left the garage.
Just a couple man topics there.
Yeah.
Just in case.
All right. Well, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you
Let's
ready
go.
to share your thoughts and feelings with us
I'm ready.
today? Okay. Question numero uno. Okay. Scott Martindale. What thoughts do you have about being a stepdad? Just tell us some of your thoughts. Going into your new marriage when we were getting married, like you were becoming a stepdad before you were even becoming like a dad to your own children.
Yeah, scared to death.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
It was scary. So first, let me just tell you a little bit of backstory. So I was single for 36 years.
Long time.
Before, I never was married before. I had no children. So it was a little scary. Of course, it's different going. You had a son, so I thought, well, naturally there's sports, and that that's kind of the bonding topic. It's either sports or go to an amusement park. Those are the fun things to do when you have a little boy. And of course, as a stepdad, I was thinking, okay, that's kind of my job. It was a little relaxing at first because I didn't have to do any of the discipline. So I was just kind of there to have fun and make sure he had fun. And so I think going into it, I was a little nervous, but I think the process was pretty gradual. And we just tried to have a good time together.
Yeah.
Obviously, it changes over time.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know kind of what the changes were going to be.
Yeah.
But I think I was a little nervous, but at the same time, I was excited about it. I was prayerful about it before, so I kind of knew what I was. I thought I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
But I was preparing myself for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, walking through all that and us having those conversations prior to getting married of, just expectations and where your place was, where my place was. And I think that was so good because it helped set our not only our family, but our marriage up for success when it came to raising Michael.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it wasn't a long time. We didn't exactly take our time with this process. We kind of, got engaged, got married, and I mean, we got
within 4 months. Yeah. If you think it's impossible to plan a marriage in 4 months, it is a wedding. Yeah. It is possible.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a blessing because it didn't give me a whole lot of time to, get too deep in my head or, think the wrong things. It was kind of like, okay, let's do this and let's move on.
Yeah. So. No. Good. So what were you looking forward to? What were some of the things that you were looking forward to being, a stepdad to Michael?
I think just being a dad, was kind of my thought is, I knew whether you want to call it a stepdad or, a dad, I mean, I just knew being a dad was going to be fun. I thought I knew it was going to be challenging. But I was looking forward to just, development of him and our marriage and our thoughts. And of course, right when we got married, we knew we were about to have another son. So we knew the family was going to build really quickly.
Right.
And we didn't know about number 3 and number 4. We didn't know those were coming.
I blame that all on you. All your fault.
So I think, I was just looking forward to enjoying that process, enjoying being a father. I think any guy who's out there and you've learned all these life lessons and so you want to teach, you want to help develop your son into a better man. So I was excited about that process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you were excited for your dad before he left us to go be with Jesus.
Yeah.
I know you were excited because again you were 36 years old. Your dad didn't have any grandchildren, and that was important to you.
Yeah, you didn't tell me you were going to ask this one. That was a big part of the feelings and processes at that time.
Yeah.
Dad passed away right before our wedding.
It was the night we sent out our wedding invitations. Yeah.
So I remember thinking, and I still to this day think I wish he could have been there to see that, but. I do believe, that he's watching, that he's enjoying this, and
absolutely
that he would have loved to. And one of the things we talked about, he loved football, so he would have loved to watch Michael play football. So
absolutely,
I was excited for him.
Yeah. Well, you talked about in the beginning when we first started that you were scared. What were some of the things that scared you going into marriage, a blended family?
What didn't?
Yeah, and being a dad for the first time at the age of 36.
Yeah, what didn't scare you? What scared me, it was all that. I mean, I think that you always, in some levels, question, whether you're going to be good at this, because it wasn't the biological child, so it was a little different in terms of, will they accept? Will I fit in? Obviously coming from a single mom's perspective, how's that going to all mesh? There were a lot of fears there, and a lot of moments where things didn't go exactly as planned.
Yeah.
And I think you got to give yourself grace and give yourself some time to let things develop. But yeah.
I think one thing that when I look back on all of that, I remember your confidence and just your confidence and you know what, we've got this. Like sink or swim, he was like, we're on the ship. It could be burning, but we're going down together.
Yeah.
We're not jumping off. And I think that just makes all the difference. When you make that commitment, to God and to your spouse and you honor that, God's going to honor your marriage and bless it and our family. And so that was just one thing. I just remember you were just so confident and you know what, this is going to work. Like whatever happens, we're going to get through it.
Well, I would always encourage people. I mean, there are feelings that you have and there are obviously feelings that you have toward your fiance who's going to become your wife. Obviously there's a lot of love. There's a lot of emotions that go in there. The children, again, I would say you choose to love, and we've talked about this in other podcasts where, is there a difference between the love you have for your biological children versus your stepchildren? And the truth of it is there may be a difference, but the choice is still the same.
Sure.
The choice whether you show love, the choice whether you show, you give your time. I mean, all of these things are acts of love. And yes, you may, every child may be different, but you can choose to love them with the same intensity.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely choose to love them. So I remember distinctly having that thought of, this is my choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose this. I'm going to then act upon all of these choices. And whether it's a bad day or a good day, I'm still going to choose the same way.
Yeah.
And I think dads, and whether you're a new stepdad or whether you're, maybe you've been a stepdad for a while and you've never kind of put this thought together, is children want to be loved. They want to have fun. They want to enjoy their parents. They also want to be disciplined and they want routine.
Sure.
So you need to choose these things and understand that you may have a good day, you may have a bad day, but the next day, choose it again.
Right.
And then it will get better.
That's good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that just.
What other questions?
So, you were just talking about like some of the, choosing, like what are some best practices that you have done as a stepdad or that you could employ?
Well, it's a multi-question here. So I would say one of the things that I thought was really important is before you and I even got married is I called the biological father, Michael's father, and we had a conversation. And I was very clear about my intentions. Now, whether those intentions were, I think, if I fully understood them or not, I don't think I did.
Right.
But I was wanting to make that choice.
It was
which was, I want to respect that respect his father, respect that he is his father and I am his stepfather. And my role is to support. It's not to be his father. It is to support him. And to, when he is in our house, it's to be that leader and be that voice. But I wanted to make sure that his biological father knew that I respected him, that I respected, and I still do to this day. I still highly respect his father and his role in his life. And we're different. Him and I are very different. And that's awesome for Michael because he gets to experience things that I can't necessarily teach him.
Sure.
That his father can. So we were very clear on that. I also made it really clear that I wasn't going to, for me, it was really big to tell him I wasn't going to physically discipline him. I didn't want that to be a part of his mental thought process. Will this man spank my child? Will he beat my child? He didn't know me from Adam. So it was very important that I was vocal about that. This is how I discipline. This is what I feel like our role is going to be.
Right.
But man, I really want you to know that you're his father, and I'm here to support you in that process. Because one of the things I think people don't realize is when you first get married, understand that you're going to have a long life with this child, and it's going to develop, and you're going to think things 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that you may not have thought day one. But if you can set a clear expectation of, this is how I want to do this. I always want to respect his biological father. I always want to be in clear communication with him. I want to include him on things. I want to make sure that in those times where, and I knew this was going to come up, you're not my father, those kind of conversations. You can't do this. You're not my father. I was okay with that. I was okay because I knew the next day I may have an opportunity to be a good voice for him, to be a good leader for him. So I'm not really sure what the question was, but I think
best practices.
Best practices. One is have that conversation, even if it's not a welcome conversation. And a lot of times you may not have that ability to just pick up the phone and make that phone call. Write an email. Communicate the best you can your intentions to the biological parent, so that they can, take down their guard a little bit. Because again, I think as any parent, a new parent coming in, this is your child relationship.
Yeah.
Designed by God to be extremely personal, extremely intimate. So there's a new person coming in. So take that opportunity to do that. Expectations on the other side, I don't really know if I had clear expectations. Maybe that was the blessing, is I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought that it would be challenging. I thought it would be fun. I love sports. I knew Michael loved sports, so that was always going to be a bonding thing for us.
I love that you didn't know things, because I specifically remember coming home one day and you and Michael were playing a video game, and it's like it was a teen game, like not for like little kid, but a teen game.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? You're like, we're bonding. We are playing a video game together. I'm like, yeah, and it's rated teen, and he is 11, like, hello, at the time.
Yeah, there were a lot of parenting things I didn't know. I could go through the list of things that I learned as a parent. Some of them, I mean,
it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
there were a lot of lessons that I didn't know. But 36 years single, I mean, I barely learned to take care of myself. So again, those things are going to happen.
No, absolutely. What I love when you were talking about, your being purposeful with Michael's dad, is you set those boundaries from the beginning.
Yeah.
And you were saying, like, I respect you, I respect your authority as his father, and I'm not going to cross these boundaries. I don't feel comfortable doing this. These are my intentions. I don't want to do this. And you guys, I love watching you guys interact, because y'all have a great relationship. It hasn't always been that way, but it is good. And I love that you guys can support one another in your endeavors and different things that you do. And Michael loves that. I love, like when y'all were coaching baseball together, and just watching Michael with both of you. So great.
Well, and I think people, again, especially as blended families develop blended, meaning, families will evolve over time, more children will be introduced, things will happen. Be a fan and be on the side of people being awesome and successful and happy.
Yeah.
You don't have, there are times when something happens and it doesn't sit well with you, but be on the side of, man, I want you to be awesome, happy, great family, successful, supporting each other. Because again, we change.
Sure.
Day one of marriage versus 5 years of marriage versus 10 years of marriage. And I'm sure it's going to change even more after Michael, turns 18 and starts developing. There are going to be different challenges that come up.
Absolutely. COVID.
Yeah, COVID challenge. There are all those things. It helps a lot if you can have a respectful relationship.
So how do you manage that?
Well, and sometimes it's on my time and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have to respect in each other. I think men have to respect that about other men. And we're talking about stepdads here, and stepmoms is completely, maybe a little bit different. But stepdads, we have to respect that, we may not always be on our own schedule. So some things that I want to do may not necessarily happen in that time frame. But we just accept that. When we have opportunities, we bond. Again, in any relationship, even if you're different, you can always find something to talk about.
Right.
Always find something.
Sure.
In this case, it was a little bit easier because we're both, both love sports, so we can bond over that. But I think it's just being intentional and being polite, and again being respectful, and not trying to do things purposely to alienate or to manipulate, but being mindful of that all the time.
What do you do? What do you pray for? What do you seek God for? And not just being a stepdad, but just being a dad. Like, what are you constantly going to God with? What are you constantly praying about, if you don't mind being a little transparent about those things?
I think one is always praying that God continues to remind me of responsibility, remind me of the weight of the responsibility that He's given me and blessed me with. We have 4 boys.
The entrustment.
Yeah, the entrustment of that is major. And I always think, like, if we'd have had 4 girls, we talk about this every now and then.
Yeah.
We're like, if we had 4 girls, what would it be like? And what would my weight be like?
Like your physical weight?
No, not physical weight. I mean, like the weight of, the responsibility.
Sure.
How different would that be?
Like delicate, because girls are delicate. Yeah.
But you would probably bear the brunt of that weight of the delicateness, because you would be teaching them how to be girls.
Yeah.
My job would be to protect.
Sure.
Whereas now, my job, when you have all boys, it's to teach them to be men and to teach them to be responsible and to teach them
to love
how
Jesus.
How to love Jesus and brush their teeth.
Yeah.
So these are all things that I think as a guy, we take the weight of that very seriously.
Yeah.
So I always pray that God keeps me reminded of that weight. I also pray for opportunities. And I love that you and I are like this. We seek out opportunities for each other. Like, hey, whether that's one-on-one time with the boys,
Sure.
or, especially opportunities when they get older. Michael is 14. So there's lots of opportunities for me to take and go, okay, can I get mad about this? Can I punish about this? Or can I show grace and
Sure.
teach through this? So I think there's opportunities to do that, but we have to be mindful and watching for those opportunities. They're there every day.
Sure.
And yes, we have the weight of work and bills and then there's our marriage that has to come first. So all of those things that are on there, but there are constant opportunities to stop, pause, put the phone down, enjoy that moment with the kiddos.
Hey friends, we hope that this episode is blessing your socks off right now, and we just want to take an opportunity to talk about partnering together. If Blended Kingdom Families has touched your marriage and touched your blended family in some way, we'd love to partner with you.
At Blended Kingdom Families, we're trying to reach as many blended families as possible, and we can do more with your support. So please take an opportunity to visit blendedkingdomfamilies.com and click partner. Hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Is there any other nuggets of wisdom that you would like to give to all the fathers out there listening right now? Dad, stepdad, bio dad.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is for a stepdad, love their mother. That will be one of the greatest blessings that you give that child. And show them specifically conflict and resolution. So I know that, you and I, even though I'm a marriage therapist, we do ministry, all those things, we still have conflict.
Sure.
And we still have times where we're like, yeah. The donkey and the monkey don't always agree.
No, I'm swinging. And you're just
so
chilling.
Those opportunities exist. So give yourself grace in marriage, but also as very important for, especially I think for stepsons who are protective over their moms, understand that they need to see conflict, and as important as it is, show them resolution.
Sure.
So they can see what the full circle of marriage looks like. Next thing is, understand that you may overstep your role every now and then.
Sure.
And that's okay to make that mistake because you're doing it from a loving perspective. But also just kind of come back and center yourself and understand who you are, what your role is supposed to be, and those things. Lastly, I would say just enjoy it because it goes very fast.
It does.
It's very quick. I remember when we got married, Michael was six, and now he is 14. So he's gone from this little kid who, if we could just get him, a little remote control car, he was happy. Now he's eyeing the real car.
He's eyeing the Jeep.
He's eyeing the Jeep, and that's going to be a whole different scenario. But there's just challenges that you face when those kids are getting a little bit older that you got to set yourself some grace. You're going to make a mistake or two.
Sure.
Hopefully you're not judged to perfection, and you've established a good enough relationship with the biological parent that mistakes can happen.
Yeah.
So own those. I will tell you another lesson that I've learned is it's super powerful for men to admit their mistakes.
Right.
Especially to other men. So I know there's been situations where I've messed up, and my voice is to the biological father, hey, I messed up. Didn't do this right.
Right.
I'm not trying to be perfection. I'm trying to be fallible, especially in front of that relationship. So it makes it a little bit less edgy.
Yeah.
In men, we have our egos in the way. So we have to figure out ways to break that barrier. And the best way to break that barrier is to admit vulnerability. So that those egos can crush down and go, you know what, we're just human. We're just trying to do our best. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fail, but we're also going to win.
Yes.
And we're going to win by continuously seeking God's guidance, seeking forgiveness when necessary, and have a good time too.
That's all good.
All good stuff.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
Put you in the
Yes.
hot seat one day.
Put me in the hot seat one day. Over here.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your feedback and your time with us today. Hope this helps you learn a little bit about being a stepdad and take any of these nuggets, use them for yourself.
Yes, you guys. We love you all. Be blessed in all that you do today. You need a pair of wind pants. Felt
I'm not
like you
getting a pair of
needed
wind
a
pants.
pair of blue wind pants.
Hey BKF community, we want to hear from you guys. If you would take the time to leave us a review, and you can find us on all social media platforms. Our podcast is like on every podcast platform, and you can visit us at our website at www.blendedkingdomfamilies.com.
Yeah, guys, we're trying to reach every blended family all over the world, and we can't do this without your partnership. So please take a minute, like, share, comment, review, tell your friends. Tell them they can all go to blendedkingdomfamilies.com for great resources.